Should you buy one of these? No, you should not. Hello everyone, welcome to No Idea Automotive. My name is Tyler, and today I'm giving you an update on my dad's 2008 Supercharged Range Rover. 4 years ago I posted a video titled Best Worst Vehicle to Own, and I'd like to know if that's still true to this day. Many years and miles later, does it still hold the test of time, despite its reputation? In this video, we'll take a drive. I'll explain why I love Land Rovers and Range Rovers so much, and talk about, is it a good idea or extremely horrible idea to purchase one of these? Speaking of purchasing, this one is for sale. So if you're in Eastern North Carolina and you really want to risk it all and buy an older Land Rover, let me know, because this one actually has held up very well. So 4 years ago when I made that video driving, this vehicle didn't have AC, and that was in the middle of summer. Luckily, we're right in the middle of fall, and AC, and right now heat isn't even needed, but both work in this Range Rover. The AC has been fixed since then, and you know, driving this vehicle is very special to me. I absolutely love Range Rovers of this model year, really 2008, 2009, 2010. 2010 is probably a good sweet spot because it's towards the end of the production for this body style of Range Rover. But I feel like this body style like encapsulates like good modern and a good like what Land Rover used to be, until you get into the model years that are way too like technology driven. I mean, there is a lot of tech in this vehicle as it is, not as much as you would get in a Range Rover of today. You know what I mean? Right now, as it stands, this Range Rover has 196,000 miles on it. It is pushing 20 years old, and it still drives beautifully. The air suspension is great. Still on its original airbags, by the way. There was only one point where we had an issue, and that was just a sensor that had gone bad. And since that has been replaced, the air suspension works great. It goes up, goes down, it stays level like it should. There's no sagging at all. The engine itself, well, I will say there is a little bit of belt squeal, especially on startup. After that, it runs great. I'm actually really surprised. You know, if you take care of these vehicles, they will take care of you back. And I think a lot of people get the misconceptions of, you know, buying a used Range Rover is going to be a complete nightmare. But if you do preventative maintenance and you truly take care of it before those things go haywire, it's a great vehicle to own. Now, there are a myriad of flaws that could come with a vehicle of this age and this mileage. I mean, the interior does have some wear and tear. I'll show some of that, you know, at the end of this video. The wear that this vehicle has, but for the most part the interior has held up fairly well, and it still, aside from the infotainment system, looks pretty modern. I would say downright elegant, honestly. The headliner is sagging, which is pretty common. I mean, it's pretty common in most older vehicles anyway. One thing I don't think I mentioned in my last video that I did, and I may have, I don't know, is that even though you do have tons of space in this vehicle, I do feel that it is a little narrow for me. I'm a bigger guy, but sitting in the seat, I can't really, my legs, I can't spread them out too far because there are a lot of things for my legs to hit. But, you know, headroom is great, and visibility out of this huge windshield, and just like the commanding view that you have, especially because you sit so much higher up, it really does feel like you're the king of the road. And I think that's what I like about this the most, is because I just feel like I'm in total control of my driving experience. If you're looking for an older Range Rover to own, or even this one, because this one is for sale, there are a couple things that you do have to look at, because they can be temperamental, especially if the previous owner did not take care of it that well. And one is the air suspension. You really got to make sure that that has been maintained, or even look for ones that have been replaced, because if you do have to end up replacing that and the previous owner didn't take that hit for you, it's probably going to cost you more than the vehicle cost itself. And some people, when the airbags do go out, they replace it with a, you know, your standard like coil system. We're at a stop sign here, about to get on a main road, and let's see what this thing can do. All right, supercharged V8, 400 horsepower. It feels like it's all still there. For being such a big vehicle, there's moments where you can feel it, especially if you are going fast on a windy road like I'm going right now. It doesn't feel unmanageable at all. Still, after all this time, after the age and the mileage that this one has, to me, I feel like this is a very unique find in used Range Rovers just because of how poorly they're treated. And sometimes that treatment comes from the maintenance costs can be pretty high when it comes to repairing these old rigs, which a lot of people will shy away from. But if you're passionate and you can do a lot of the work yourself, parts aren't going to be crazy, especially on the aftermarket, which you can find some aftermarket parts for this vehicle. 4 years later, would I say that a used Range Rover is the best used vehicle to own? Would I say it's the worst used vehicle to own? I wouldn't say it's the worst, because there's definitely worst vehicles out there that you can own used. Is this close? Yeah, it's close. Just because you really got to do your research when you're looking for these used vehicles. But is it the best? If you're looking for semi-old school luxury and you're looking for a vehicle that truly an exceptional experience, yeah, this still might be the best used vehicle to ever own, especially when you think about the prices of the used market and the value that you get. I did want to show a little bit of the interior. I don't even think I did that in my previous video 4 years ago. If you see what I mean, the infotainment system, they did update this in later years of this body style, but the infotainment is incredibly outdated. I think Lexus at the time had a way better infotainment system than this. I feel like Lexus was way ahead of its time. And then if you go down, there are an incredible amount of buttons and knobs. You have the clock there. Actually still works. That is the correct time. And then you have the 4x4 management system here with your different modes, lowering and leveling out the air suspension. And then of course you have the different, if you want to put it in low, 4-wheel drive, and then you have your hill descent control here. Just kind of show you some of the wear in this vehicle. As you see here on the door panel, it has seen better days. And same with this armrest that kind of goes down right here. And like I said, the headliner is sagging back there. The interior to me has held up pretty well. I do think that, you know, the creaks and stuff you're going to just get with an older vehicle. I mean, hey, look at Mercedes. Their interiors to this day still creak and rattle. My final thoughts on a Range Rover from 2008 that is supercharged. Like I said, if you do your research and you really are passionate about owning an older Range Rover and it's something that you've always wanted to do, go in it with a great attitude, a good savings, and a lot of research. I still think to this day they can be one of the best used vehicles that you can own as long as you're smart about it. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this update on the 08 Range Rover that I featured on my channel 4 years ago. But if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more of what I'm doing in the future, hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching No Idea Automotive. I have filmed this video 7 times. I don't know what to say.